The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, which can only mean one thing. The horrors are here. Welcome back to RPG Horror Stories, where I go on Reddit so you don't have to. New week, but we're changing things up a little bit this week. Rather than just going to r/RPG Horror Stories and finding the top 3 from this week, I went searching for a mission. This time, we have prolonged stories, which means each one of these stories will have an update on the situation and maybe a conclusion? We'll see. I'm not exactly sure yet. I'm just trying this out this week. If you like it, please tell me down below, alright? I'm excited. Something new. Let's jump in. This first one is titled, I'm planning on dressing up tonight for my boyfriend's D&D session. Good idea? It all depends. I imagine some jealousy might arise. Let's see what happens. My boyfriend and his friends are all heavily into D&D. They know I have an interest in it as well, but I can't yet play with them until they finish their current campaign. So I plan on wearing a dress and corset and acting like I work in a tavern or inn, answering the door and acting like they are travelers, serving them drinks while having an accent or something. Does anyone have any recommendations or tips on how I can be more fun or make this experience a bit more exciting for them? I'm not trying to distract them from their game, but they play for hours and take regular breaks, so I just thought of being silly and provide them with a little entertainment here and there. Is this even a good idea, or am I being weird, XD? I mean, this sounds very nice. Also, side note, I didn't grow up really with a phone and all that, so I thought XD was just like a cool way people ended messages. I didn't realize it was like a close your eyes, like smiley face deal. That's just me. I was a Luddite for a second. But nonetheless, this sounds really, really fun and interactive. And I have no idea where this is gonna go. Edit, I ended up waiting until next campaign to dress up. Next Saturday night. This way, it gives me more time to prepare and talk to my boyfriend and DM about how I can join in. Thank you, random strangers, for your opinions. Very helpful insight. LOL. Alright, so next thing we're doing is we're jumping into some relevant comments where it's like, sounds like a question for your boyfriend. It does indeed. And she replied with, I've already got permission to dress up. Just want to surprise him by going over the top. Another comment is, there's a cookbook, Hero's Feast. Lots of good ideas for tavern meals and stuff in there, if cooking is your thing. I guess I'm too late for tonight, but maybe you can use it for next time? She replied with, thank you so much. I appreciate the idea. I already have a D&D based drink master's guide for 75 different cocktails. Going to try to incorporate that into their session as well. I also have a D&D drink guide. It is called Puncheons and Flagons. It is the official D&D drink guide. I'm a bartender as well, so getting D&D based drinks was really fun, and I have yet to make any of them from her, but it always adds a little pizzazz, to it. Final comment from OOP. Thank you all so much for all your input. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to let you all know that it would be a while before their next D&D session. They don't get to play often, but I have plenty of time to get prepared to talk to my boyfriend/DM about me participating as an NPC. I will post an update once I do this. Again, thank you for all your suggestions. Alright, so it's sounding like a really good story so far. And these updated stories, I'm getting these from Best of Redditor updates. They're not necessarily horror stories. Of course, each one of them can turn in their own usual way, but this sounds like a beautiful interaction. She's trying to go over the top for her boyfriend, really set the scene and play the part and participate in one of his hobbies, and I love that so much. It's very nice to see. It's very nice to see, especially since, I don't know, the public perception about D&D players is changing a lot and has in the recent years with its popularity growing in 2017, 2018, and 2019. But nonetheless, it's very nice to see people willingly want to participate in their partner's hobby, even if that hobby is D&D, in a very positive way, because I definitely remember a time where I had to hide the fact that I was a D&D player because it was weird and odd, and there was still this taboo nature that parents instilled in their children from the satanic and moral panic of the 1980s. Nonetheless, this is very nice. Now it's time for an update. Forgot my hair was like that. It's free now. Update. 7 months later. I posted on here about 7 months ago about my boyfriend being a DM to a campaign with some of his friends and me potentially joining, but dressing up. LOL. Well, here's an update. Long story short, they were more than welcome to the idea of me joining, but as far as dressing up, it's just too much work to put on the corset, as well as I forgot I was shy AF. So that bombed. Anyways, I think initially they were skeptical of me joining, just in case the DM and I broke up. They didn't want a main character to just leave, you know? But I was welcome. The process was kinda slow, but it was worth it. I first started off sitting in on sessions for a while, getting used to them talk and play. Then, outside of the session, the DM/my boyfriend helped me make a character. I purposely chose a class that was not already in the campaign, and I joined at level 14. Oh, that's okay. That's a rough level to jump into as a first time player, but I appreciate the tenacity. This is awesome. I've already played maybe 6 sessions and I've had so much fun. I must say these boys are just so awesome and I'm very grateful they let me join. My first time playing D&D and I'm a level 14 human ranger. Ooh. Sorry, it's just a personal thing. I don't like rangers. Granted, they're great if you have a high exploration campaign, but in literally any other scenario, bad choice at all. But this is so nice. This is so good. Like, okay, if anybody out there say you're in a relationship with somebody and you see them playing D&D or TTRPGs or something like that, don't be afraid to ask them about it. Ask them if you want to join. I know you're probably curious about it at very least. So what OOP did here, sitting in on the sessions and then eventually building a character and then joining in, that is perfectly valid and welcome in so many scenarios. This is such a beautiful story. History of the players. I feel like this might be important. The DM and I have met each other when we were 13, so our relationship is just amazing. I couldn't ask for anything else. And the other 4 members of the group, 2 of them I've been in school with since elementary, and the other 2 since junior high. These aren't strangers, so joining the campaign and being around them wasn't too foreign. I'm just still shy AF, and now I get to play whenever they do. I joined their group Discord server, and I'm included with ordering food and all. I am so happy. D&D is so much fun. I didn't expect a really good story to start off. This is so nice. Yeah, so literally, if you're curious about somebody in your life and their D&D campaign, ask them if you can sit in on a session. You know, if you enjoy it, maybe talk with the DM and see if you could maybe participate as an NPC or something like that. And then if you like that, progress a little bit further and say, hey, can I join your campaign? Granted, it won't always work out like that, but still, it's worth a shot. I'm of the opinion, and I need to personally get better at this too, that if you want something, make it known. Put yourself out there, ask for it, you know? The worst they can say is no, which I know, coming from a person who has anxiety and paranoia and things like that, putting yourself out there and asking for something, the worst thing they can say in your mind is not no. But in the end, most likely scenario is they'll say no, and that's okay. In that case, you just keep moving on, keep moving forward, you know? This was so fun, and I'm so glad that this happened. Oh my god. Well then, first story done, off with a bang. Moving on. This next one is titled, Mom of one of my players almost gets kicked out of my game. New update. Ooh. I have no idea where this is going, but parents are involved, so this is real interesting. Let's jump in. I run 2 D&D games. One I run at a local game shop. It is family friendly, and I welcome anyone who can behave and take a shower. Good rule. That's a good rule. Second game is run at my house with me and my 4 oldest friends. We get drunk and screw around in the campaign. It's a campaign that we have been running since 5e first came out, and is very much built around our terrible humor. Not very public place-based friendly. Damn. Okay, so this, it says the original post was September 13th, 2024. For those that don't know, D&D 5e came out in 2014. They've been playing a campaign for 10 years. That is such a long time to play a campaign. The longest campaign I had, I started at level 5, ended at level 20, and that lasted 5 years. So double that time, whoo, crazy. New player is a 9-year-old kid named Simon. He loves playing in my public game and found out I run another game. Asked if he could join, and I told him it wasn't really open to new players. He was cool about it. Simon is a good kid. Simon's mom found out later when she picked him up and tried to force him into my other game. I had to get the owner to help me calm her down and get her to leave. Simon was in tears apologizing. I felt so bad for him. Owner told mom if she ever set foot in his store again, he'd ban her and Simon from the store and get the police involved if he had to. She left in a hurry and almost T-boned a car in her rush to leave. Oh my god. Okay. Oh god, helicopter parents suck. Helicopter parents suck. I mean, come on. If you're a parent and your kid is asking another adult if they can play in their game, and the other adult is going, nah, man, there's too much players, sorry. Like, read the signals, my guy. Read the signals. Chances are it's not a safe place for kids. You know what I mean? Oh my god. And also, just, she sounds like the Karenest of Karens, if I'm being completely honest. Oh my god, let's keep going. Simon's dad drops him off now. He came to me and the owner and begged our forgiveness. Turns out mom wanted Simon in my game as a form of babysitting so she could go out and party with other terrible mom friends. Oh my god. Yeah, honey, go for it. Go play the D&D. Go have fun and pretend with your friends. I'm gonna go to yoga. I'm gonna go hot yoga with my friends. Okay, ladies, we're doing more skill shots. Like, what the fuck? Trying to pawn your kid off to another adult in order to go do bad mom things? Ridiculous. We told him as long as it's him dropping Simon off, there won't be any issues. He's a good kid, and I'd hate to lose our monk. That's beautiful. You can't pick your parents, especially when you're that young. And you can't choose if your parents are in your life, especially if you're that young. Him being like, nah, man, your mom sucks, but I like you. Like, I'd hate to lose our monk. You know what I mean? That's a great way, especially like if Simon is that young and he's probably just now getting into D&D, it pays off to have good role models like that, especially in any hobby. But D&D can be a lifelong experience, especially for Simon, and he'll remember these foundational moments. I remember my first D&D session. It was such a fun time, and I was the youngest one there by 10 years, you know? But it's beautiful. It's a great time, and honestly, I'd implore anybody who's really comfortable with D&D in the session is to just seek out mentorship opportunities for kids, because some kids need a good mentor in their life. This kid clearly does not have a good mentor in his life in the form of his mother. His dad seems chill. Dad seems cool. But mom is, getting drunk with other moms and trying to pawn him off to strangers. Love that. Edit, thanks for indulging my drama sharing. Love the hobby. Simon is a great little dude. His dad is a great big dude. Glad to have met them. Thanks to everyone for letting me spam replies and shoot the breeze. You're all great. That's beautiful. That's so good. And like, also, I know, like, beside the fact that the mom doesn't seem like the best mom in the entire world, the dad seems pretty cool, but nonetheless, both of them are open and welcoming to their child playing Dungeons and Dragons, and that just makes me feel so good. So good. Again, talking about when I first started playing D&D, I had to hide the fact that I was playing Dungeons and Dragons from my very Catholic grandmother, because she was an adult and a parent during the Satanic Panic. Lots of fun, but this is beautiful. This is so good. Time for an update. This update is from September 17th, 2024. If I have any updates on things, I'll post on my profile as to not spam unrelated things on various subreddits. Hey everyone, it's been pure chaos the last few days, but after everyone was so nice, I figured I'd let you guys know what happened since it's mostly good news and should put some minds at ease. I ran into Simon's dad and his sister Anna at the store, and they invited me out to lunch to chat. Simon's doing pretty well, all things considered. Dad says he and mom were already most of the way through the divorce process. Whoa. When did they get divorced? Wait, okay, so, Dad was on the outs when that happened. Whoo, wrap it up. I love that. Okay, but he and his almost ex-wife agreed to keep it quiet until they had finalized some agreements. Mom showed her ass yet again and basically admitted she didn't want Simon very often and negotiated for some money in exchange for giving full custody to Dad with a few holiday visitations, if she can make it. Oh my god! Childhood divorce here. Know that feeling. Fucking. I take back everything I said about Mom. She's not cool. She's not cool at all. Like, granted, I didn't say some good things about her, but just the props that I gave her for liking D&D and letting her son do that, I now know it was all a ploy to just get rid of him for a little bit. That is meh. She's moving a few states away to live with some of her friends from college. He doubts they see her more than once a year, if that. He said it went as well as he could have hoped. He's just glad it's almost over. Auntie Anna, as Simon calls her, is Dad's sister. She's stepping away in to help Simon while Dad juggles everything. She brought him to the shop this weekend, and she hung out with me while I ran the game so she could learn. Everyone had a good time, even got a few giggles from Anna, so I'll consider that a GM's job well done for first impressions of the hobby. That's amazing. Like for anybody who's, well, no, players too. Players and DMs aren't that far different, but like when you're at a table and somebody listening laughs at a joke that you did, oh, mwah, chef's kiss, beautiful. I love that so much. Shame the first RP she had to see was me as Marty the farty lizard folk merchant NPC that they ran into last session. Oh, it's a shame. Listen, I heard Marty the farty lizard folk merchant is a great guy. He has some great discounts, some great items in his shop, and even has a flatulence discount. So don't be too hard on yourself. Oh my god. That's beautiful. Lots of hissing and farting noises out of me for 15 minutes. It be like that sometimes. It do. You improv something right off the cuff, you gotta stick with that. But those create the best moments, you know what I mean? Simon was able to pass enough con saves to buy what the party needed from Marty. Discounts in exchange for risk of poison damage. I am psychic. Oh my god. That is beautiful. And they tricked the corrupt town guard into accidentally arresting themselves due to an elaborate performance by the bard and Simon's monk. Game went well. Anna and I talked while Simon looked at all the dice sets for an hour after the game. She's been pulled into a parent group of parents of kids in Simon's class. I guess Simon has all the other kids wanting to try playing, and since my private game is on hiatus for at least 6 months, I offered to run one if the parents were comfortable with it. Wait, what? She's been pulled into a parent group of parents of kids in Simon's class. I guess Simon has all the other kids wanting to try playing since, like, there's a group of parents that are trying to learn more about D&D because Simon's been telling them all? That's so sweet. Oh my god. Okay. And this OOP is like, yeah, I'll DM. These stories are so sweet. I ended up getting added to the group chat, and Anna's house is where we're gaming. Next day, Anna and I meet up for lunch, and I helped her put together a gaming space in her living room. A few of the moms came by to drop some snacks and introduce themselves in person. I feel like I've been adopted into a family of families, but I don't even have a family of my own. Everyone has been great. I'm so glad Simon is surrounded by these people, and not people like his mom. The kids were all very well behaved. He's DMing for the kids. Nonetheless, this is great. I love this. Anna and I were a bit nervous being the chaperones for a bunch of kids, but Simon's friends are great. They all had a blast making characters and doing the test encounters I had for them. There's a girl that made certain she was always seated next to Simon and barely takes her eyes off him. Ooh, Simon's got a little crush. She has a huge crush on him, but don't think he even realizes what's going on. It's adorable. Parents were all happy with the game night, and honestly, I liked running for all the kids way more than I expected. Anna and I agreed we were fine with doing this regularly, so now Anna and I are the game masters to everyone. Also, I'm now Uncle Caleb to Simon. This is so sweet. This is so sweet. He went from like just this random kid joining his game at a game shop, and his only rules were be nice and shower, and now he's Uncle Caleb to this kid after the kid is going through the turmoil of a divorce that he's probably dealing with, and his mom being a terrible person and things like that. This is exactly what this kid needs, and I am so happy. I'm so happy. Not sure what I did to earn the title, and I definitely didn't get emotional when he called me that. Sure, man. Sure. So that's about it. I still run 2 games. I've been adopted by a 9-year-old, and I've taken over Anna's living room with minis and battle mats. Simon is an incredible little dude, and I'm glad to have met him and his amazing family, 1 parent excluded. Edit. Thanks, folks. Thanks again, folks. Like I said in the comments earlier, I didn't foresee this being anything else to update on would be relevant to this sub, so barring some other bizarre incident happening to me while I'm gaming, I suppose this is me fading into the background. I think I smell something. Oh god, Marty's back. Oh my god, this Caleb, OOP, beautiful. He is exactly what this community needs, because there are so many people that gatekeep, especially the children and things like that. And I'm so grateful for the experience I had when I was a kid, because I got put into a group of a very well-established group with a bunch of older people, and they're just like, yeah, we know this kid from the theater. Let's throw him in here. I'm sure he'll have fun. And here I am 16 years later, just enjoying the shit out of it every single day and doing stuff like this, you know? And I'm just grateful for you guys too. Edit 2. Just gonna sneak this in here because people are actually messaging me like crazy and want to just state my status with Anna. I am deeply infatuated with her. I could just go on and on about her like a love-struck puppy, but I'm embarrassing myself enough as it is. We've got a busy next couple of weeks ahead of us, but luckily for me, a lot of that busy time will be spent with her working on things for Simon and the game nights. So for now, I'm gonna let things be. Give us time to know each other better. We've been texting pretty regularly the last few days, and I'm starting to think there's something here. Once things calm down, I fully intend to ask her on a date. Too many folks in my life on here are telling me I'd be an idiot not to. Absolutely, you'd be an idiot not to. Anna is so into you, my guy. So into you. You have no idea. Good with kids. Improv. Funny. Helping out her family. Absolutely. Of course she's into you. Also spoke with Drew, Simon's dad, this morning, and he's doing alright. Said he'll be better in a few weeks when he's able to take some vacation. Gonna take Simon on a father-son trip for a few days. He's exhausted, even with the reduced workload. He's just now getting time to rest. Poor guy needs it. Oh my god, this is absolutely gorgeous. I need to do this more often. I feel so good right now. Then the best part is, there's more updates. Let's go. Wait, whoa. Okay, when was this update? September 17th. And then this update was September 27th, 10 days later. Interesting. It's been a week. I've known this woman for about a week, and I've already fallen hard. Infatuation levels are all set to max. She's incredible. Gonna be spending a lot of time with her for a few weeks, and I and a lot of folks we know are saying I should ask her out. I'm going to. I just want to let us get through this busy point and take a bit of time to get to know her more before I do that. September 22nd, if anyone sees this. I'm just going to update here if I have any good news to share at this point. October 4th. So, this is... math it up real quick. This is 7 days later. 7 days later. Oh, let's go. Hello, everybody. While this is an update originating from a post on RPG HorrorStories, there isn't much of a horror story anymore. Just some updates on my situation and the people in my life. I wasn't expecting much interest after the initial drama, but I've also been made aware just how much of a dense goober I am, partially thanks to the folks on Reddit pointing some things out. My nephew Simon is the coolest little dude in the universe. His interest in board games is starting to really take off ever since Anna brought him over to my place and he saw my shelf of games. He absolutely loves Ticket to Ride. I gave it to him and he wants to play it next game night. The public game party is now chasing the big bad through a few portals leading to a chronomancer's domain in the stomach of a kraken. So that should be fun. Simon has expressed interest in learning to DM. Yes! Yes, kid! Learn it young! I love this! I'll teach him everything I know. I would gladly play in any campaign that boy runs. He said that he has some ideas, and I intend to help make those ideas into dice-based reality. As for how he's handling the situation with his mom, Simon is doing well, but he struggles. He's very clingy towards Drew. I'm betting this is normal for kids in Simon's situation. Simon has Drew, Anna, and a good head on his shoulders. He'll be fine. Drew and Simon spend a lot of time together just doing little projects. They're currently putting together a puzzle and watching Simon's shows. Drew told me this was a once-a-month thing due to the work schedule. Now it's several times a week and they both love it. Drew did need a little time to decompress from dad mode, so one night he went out to a bar for a few drinks. He told me about his plans to take Simon out of town on a father-son trip. Simon's just excited the hotel has a pool. Naturally, I loved the pool as a kid. When my parents divorced, I lived with my mom, and whenever we'd go out, like, she made sure the hotel we had a pool, and it was one of the highlights of the trip, you know? Drew says he doesn't plan to date or do anything anytime soon. The ink's still dry on the divorce papers. I think single dad is what I want to be right now. He wants to focus on Simon and figuring out what life looks like for them going forward. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, this situation couldn't have gone better, in my opinion. Like, it couldn't have. As for Anna, she was initially busy balancing work, Simon, game nights, and a bunch of other responsibilities since she stepped up to help Drew. Things stabilized a lot faster than anyone expected, with the divorce resolving smoothly, and Simon being the easiest child in the world to take care of. Now that Drew is using vacation time, she has had a bit more free time until she goes back to full-time work. So she's been catching up on some of her hobbies, like baking and playing games on her Switch. I had to come over to run the cables to hook it up to her TV because she couldn't reach. She also needed my help setting up her Wi-Fi, and then she got a new router. And she had multiple issues with her laptop, and I've had to resolve for her. That woman is brilliant in every other regard, but truly clueless when it comes to tech. But I was paid for my ticket resolutions in homemade meals, so I'll call it even. The more time I spend with Anna, the more confident I am that asking her out was the right call. So I asked her out, and she said yes! Unfortunately, Anna gets migraines semi-regularly, and one hit her just before our date. I came over, and she was visibly miserable, but trying to convince me it was okay and we'd still go out. I practically had to order her to go to bed, got her migraine pills and some water for her, blacked out the curtains, and told her to call if she needs anything. She called me a few hours later, asking for something to eat because she was feeling better, so I got her some dinner and ate with her. She kept trying to apologize, but I told her to make it up to me with another date next day, which we were able to actually go on. It was a fantastic night. Had some amazing food and walked around town and talked. Then went back to drop her off, and we sat out in my car for another hour and talked. Last thing she said before getting out and running in was, "You're my boyfriend now, by the way." Before shutting the door. Hell yeah, brother. That's exactly what we want to hear. We've all been rooting for you. This is so sweet. I had no intention to argue, even if she'd left me time to. Since then, we've gone on a few more dates with our free time, and we're both really happy about how things are going. Oh my god, this is so cute. So fucking cute. Turns out Anna was a few days away from asking me out herself if I didn't make a move. We told you, my guy. We told you. Everybody told you. She also hasn't stopped teasing me about Marty and his farts. And I told her about my werewolf, Pierre Wolf, I'm using soon, and she won't stop patting my head and calling me Le Good Boy. Pierre Wolf, je m'appelle Le Good Boy. I don't speak French, I speak German. I'm not giving her character previews anymore. I guess that's it. In the last few weeks, my life has changed so dramatically, it's insane. This may be strange to say, but thank you for sharing this internet sharing circle thing that this became for me. Oh my god, fuck. I'm gonna start doing this more often. This is so nice. I don't get me wrong. I'm happy for Caleb, for OOP, right? Because things turned out so well for him. But more than anything, I can relate so hard to Simon and what he's going through. And I'm just happy that things are going so right. Like, his dad is taking the time to hang out with him, taking him on a father-son trip, encouraging him to do his hobbies. He has a mentor that is teaching him how to do those hobbies and introducing him to more hobbies. His aunt is both also participating in those hobbies and supporting him through it and being a shoulder to lean on when he needs it. And he's 9 years old, so a lot of this stuff probably isn't quite registering with him too much yet, but a little bit more than people think they will, and it will affect him later in life. And having all these good resources will help him process it in the future when he has the ability to process it. And this is just amazing. And I am so happy. All right, another good story. On to the next. This one is titled D&D Grandma Edition. Hell yeah! Come on, Grandma D&D! D&D Grandma Edition from 2022. While my parents are away for a week, I'm going to be caring for my grandmother. She's 99 years old, and she loves the fantasy genre. She reads a lot and enjoyed watching Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, The Witcher, and Outlander. She does her daily crossword and likes jigsaw puzzles. With all that knowledge in hand, what's a better activity than D&D? Hell yes! Get the grandmother playing D&D! Right now, she doesn't do much but her puzzles, her books, and her shows. Getting her engaged and interested in her own story would be so good for her. So, to make it as easy as possible for her to keep up with, I called her on the phone and asked if she would want to even try. She seemed excited but nervous, and I assured her that for right now, all she had to think about was what she wants to be. An elven archer, a dwarf with a huge battle axe, a human who can use magic. Oh my god, like, we are flipping the script right now by 90 years as opposed to the last story. Fucking 99 years old and introducing her to D&D? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, there's a common joke that, like, old people homes, when people my age are just gonna have a bunch of D&D nights, a bunch of campaigns running constantly, and I am looking forward to it so much. When I arrive, I'm going to interview her and ask her questions about her character. What's their name? When you picture them, are they human, half-orc, hobbit? What's more important to you, being clever or being strong? I'm going to roll up her sheet myself and make a paper tent for her to have in front of her where I can see her modifiers and give her a dry erase board for her to make notes on, and a notebook to write things down in as well. I'm going to find pictures of important inventory items so she can have them in front of her instead of trying to make her read small print, and pictures of NPCs and important people so that she can hold on to it and get a little bit more immersed. Green flag checks. Green flag GM checks right now. Just, woo, oh, Mia, tent, big writing, whiteboard, pictures, all those things. I'm so excited to see where this goes. Oh, I'm so excited. I found some foam dice with large numbers in case she has trouble reading the smaller set, and I'm making a map big for her. I've written very simple, go get this item one shot that I can expand for, shorten for her, and I'll be focusing on roleplay, very light combat, and puzzles. She loves puzzles. I'm doing most of her on-the-fly math and giving simple instructions such as roll the dice. You have to make a 12 or more to succeed, and giving her an NPC to make suggestions and ease her into roleplaying. Lots of pictures to show her, and simplified rules that I'll remind her of in case she forgets, and note cards she can read. I'm thinking one bite-sized session to see if she likes it, and ordering her favorite foods to snack on while we do this. Then, at the end, I'm going to use all the notes and things we did to write it into a story form and print it out that she can read it as many times as she wants. This is so sweet. This is so sweet. I can't say much more about this. Just, like, yo, if you got a grandparent and they like fantasy, get them in the D&D. This, oh my god, this is amazing. She seems very excited, and I am too. She'll probably be more into it once she gets started and comfortable with everything. So we're taking it slow and then upping the difficulty if she takes to it super well. And if she doesn't, we can stop at any time. If she's frustrated or tired, and switch to something she wants to watch or do instead. I also brought jigsaw puzzles, and no harm, no foul if she ends up disliking the session. So, just to get this straight, this DM is preparing for every single thing this grandmother would need, right? Like, writing it in big font, not worrying about small print, printing out pictures for important inventory items, doing the math for her on the fly. thinking about writing it up into a short story in the session so that she can reread it. And then if all else fails, they brought a jigsaw puzzle. And there's no harm, no foul for disliking the session. I can't put myself in a 99-year-old's shoe. Once you get up there, I feel like there's a perception of, well, I guess this is just kind of life now. I wake up, I watch my shows, I do my puzzles, I read, and nobody else really cares about me, so I guess this is just what it's gonna be till I die. And so I can only imagine how appreciative her grandmother is going to be that she took so much time and effort to do this. This is so good. I'll let you guys know how it goes. If anyone has any ideas for making a D&D elderly friendly, I'm all ears. Edit. Guys, I'm astounded at how this blew up. So much positive, constructive ideas that I've been writing down to try. I can't get over the encouragement and support for getting my awesome grandma to be in one of my favorite hobbies. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. The session will be sometime during the last week of February and the first week of March, so I'm taking the time to prepare something great and looking forward into your recommendation. I'm just a nerd who loves D&D with an awesome grandmother who needs an adventure, and you all have given me so many ideas to help bring it to life. I am forever grateful. I will be updating you as soon as I have updates, and incredibly stoked to see how she likes it. Even if she says, not for me, the fact that she's willing to try is incredible. She actually asked me, what if I ruin it all? And I'm like, oh, you're not gonna ruin it all. And I was happy to tell her that she cannot possibly ruin this for me or anyone. As long as she has a good time, I'm happy. I think we can all agree she's our grandma now. That just gives me a lot of insight into what this grandma's mentality is like. And honestly, it's not just it's not a mentality shared by our elders, but it's actually a mentality that a lot of us share is, why should I try something? I might ruin it all. And I counter that with, yeah, you might, but you might not. And it might be great. And so it is very much so, if you hear somebody saying like, I can't do D&D because I might ruin it, I might mess up. You'd be like, yeah, but isn't that the fun? It's so much fun. Like, I mean, some of the funniest moments in D&D are when somebody messed up, Very, very, very few times is a mess up dire, Even if it was dire, it was probably a character choice, and that makes the game. You know what I mean? If you're worried about trying D&D because you might mess it up, do it anyways. I mean, what's the quote? Bravery is not the absence of fear, but acting in spite of it. So please do that. But nonetheless, we have an update. The day nears. Grandma got my letter and she contacted me to talk about the letter she received in the mail from a town in need. Turns out that I don't have to interview her after all for a character creation. She came up with her character on the phone with me. Everyone, I would like to introduce you to Elegon the Ranger. He is a human archer whose looks are based on Henry Cavill and The Witcher. Yeah, Grandma, hell yeah, Henry Cavill and The Witcher. And she was very specific. He has light brown hair, not white. Elegon lives in the forest of his red wolf Tash and has a soft spot for children of animals and people alike. Elegon worries that his soft spot for children will hinder his mission, but feels obligated to protect the defenseless in any way he can. She requested that Elegon be fleet of foot and strong, prioritizing dexterity, strength, and wisdom. He is ready to go to the town of Delvin and find the key of life that was stolen, and aims to bring both the group and the missing knights home safe for the feared sorcerer in the area. I have gotten her dice, all different colors, as was suggested for me as an easy way of learning. Thank you for this suggestion. In addition, she came up with the dragon. This is Dungeons & Dragons after all. She wants her backstory to include the interaction with the dragon called Thorak and her baby dragon Mok. And I have just the way to incorporate it into the story without having her fight her, with a backup plan in case she insists. My mom sent me a video of her going over my letter and taking notes for her character. She talked to me for a couple of hours last week to nail down some of the details and talk about Elegon. Guys, I'm so excited. I am so excited for you. She's getting so into it, and I've nearly cried from happiness seeing her so engaged. When I arrive, we'll nail down some final details for her character and do a session 0 to help her get the feel of the game. Then it's off to Delvin to meet with the town who needs help. I can barely contain my excitement, y'all. This is so beautiful. Like, Who would have guessed that somebody born in 1933 would be playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons for the first time in 2022? And she is so excited about it. And, of course, her character looks like Henry Cavill from The Witcher. Come on, she's a grandma. That's beautiful. That is absolutely gorgeous. And I love that so much. Thank you so much for watching this. If you enjoyed this type of D&D horror stories, granted, none of these were horror stories. All of them were very good. That second one had a little bit of a horror start, but the ending was gorgeous and so fulfilling. And I like this a lot. Let me know down in the comments if you like this as well. And also let me know which of these was your favorite story. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, because there's going to be more videos coming out in the future. I actually have a video coming out next week that does a deep dive into the history of Dungeons & Dragons, how to play it, and if you should be playing it. And then I'm going to be making it a series into doing deep dives into TTRPGs to see if that's the right TTRPG for you. So be on the lookout for that. Go ahead and check out the other videos on my channel. We have other D&D horror stories. In my recent ones, I've ended it with glory stories just to kind of reset our minds. So if you enjoyed this, wait till the end of those videos. You'll get a good feeling at the end. Be on the lookout for more videos. But until that time, I will say, Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and I will catch you in the next one.